Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Pray for the sick. And I pray that you are well yourself. Pray for Ghana, because it's important that you do. Yesterday, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, met the press. And for most of my colleagues who were there, the feedback I got from there was that they missed those kinds of interactions. Not with John Dramani Mahama per se, but they missed those kind of media engagement and interactions, particularly from the corridors of power. I remember that the last time the President of the Republic met the press, and I was there, was in 2019. Since then, he's been meeting all manner of people, including chiefs and children from school, and telling them how he had used Dr. Bawumia's brain to govern, and he is one of the best, etc. But he has not met the press. My understanding from the feedback I'm getting from colleague journalists is also that the answers were good, and the questions were straight to the point. The praise and worship questions were almost absent, if you ask me. So this will perhaps be a challenge, maybe to the Vice President, who is now the flag bearer of the MPP, to also have an open engagement with pressmen and open up and let them field questions and let's hear the answers. That because this whole concept of I will save you from my government or my government will save you from my government is becoming one too many. All right, the conversation about e-levy, for example, say, well, when my government comes, but your government is part of the people who actually imposed the e-levy on the people of Ghana when the people said, no, we can't pay e-levy. So maybe, just maybe, we should have all the other presidential candidates, Alan Tremanting, Cheddar, everybody else, engage the press, open up for questions. And if the praise and worship questions come, we know where they will come from. If they don't come, we know why they did not come, because there's a certain standard that has been set up. So for those who put that event together, kudos to them. We expect a lot more, because that's how the press then can ask the questions on the minds of many Ghanaians and bring the answers to Ghanaians as well. This morning, if you check the front pages, they are all. Now, were the questions scripted for journalists to come and ask? I doubt that a Captain Smart or a Kemini Nyamini Amano or a Bernard Avle or anybody would allow themselves to have questions scripted for them to come and ask. You know, I doubt that they would have questions. If they allowed for questions to be scripted for them to come and ask, but I doubt that they would allow themselves for anybody to script questions. So these were questions that came up and answers that came up right, thinking on the feet. And I hope that nobody comes back later to tell us that, oh, the answers I gave you, I was joking. Like we're told that churches will have to be paid, and later we're told that, oh, we're joking. We're just joking with the pastors. Now, last week something happened. I want to play that again for you, and then I'll show you some scorecards that we have achieved. Take me to Adabraka 62 and play that gentleman's video for me.
Come on. You both came because of us, not the political activists. All these people mention their names here and there. They are the reason why we are suffering today. Please, thanks be to Johnny's Bite. I've been watching Johnny, and kudos to Johnny for the best job that he's doing for Ghana. Look, nobody will throw dust into our eyes anymore. Our eyes are now opened. It is not what you come and defend over here. It's what is going to change our minds. So I am not for NDC or MPP. I'm speaking as a Ghanaian. What I'm feeling is what I'm telling you today. Look, we are no more going to be like this, like that. Look, in this country called Ghana, sometimes I pity myself being a Ghanaian. Why am I saying so? If this is how best our own people can rule us, mommy, I feel pity. This is how best our own people can rule us.
What is your problem exactly?
My problem is that instead of them to think about us, they are all there for their selfish gains. Look, they came and mentioned their names. I am consecutive this, executive that. What impact? What impact? See, when you come here, please talk to the people who are feeling the reality on the ground. not who will come and defend their political whatever. That is not what we need in this country. We need people who will change our lives, who have impact on us, not these countries. Mommy, look at us.
Now you have
when you move from here to Kaneshi, look at the people telling in the traffic. They'll come and beg us. They'll come and beg us, but yet they will be living in their these V8, moving around, and they'll be watching them. Madam, we are those people who give you the mandate. Oh. We gave you the mandate. Get to know that you are our servants, not our masters. But today, what do we see? We see them rather enjoying. What kind of life is this?
All right.
What kind of life are we living? Look at Kolebu Road. A whole Kolebu.
All right.
Mommy, a whole Kolebu Road. From the traffic to, what do you call it? The post office. They cannot do anything. They cannot even start it. And when the ambulance is coming, today people die because of 300 cities, because of 400 cities. That they cannot afford to buy medicine. What kind of life is this?
92.7.
It's very unfortunate. But please, let me talk. But thanks to Johnny's Bike, today you have opened our eyes and we are going to go by that. Hey, the power belongs to you and not them. If truly they are here to help us. Hey, Obiba, I see it is council and you're coming here. And then what are we seeing? We are even making fasting. Fasting, I hear.
So the voice on the street. And I'm happy that by the people are getting to understand this whole concept of democracy. To the assemblymen who do next to nothing, some of them do next to nothing, they insist that you must call them honorable. People become members of parliament and they forget themselves. And let me put this in. The elections are coming. You will be sent as a young person to go and do all manner of things, including destroying billboards and defacing posters and etc. When the police naps you, you'll be on your own. You'll be sent as a young person to go and fight. When the police catches you or arrests you, you'll be on your own. So please, wise up. When they come and call you, ask them where their children are. And ask them to partner you with their children to go and foment the trouble they're asking you to foment. If they come calling you at 1 a.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. to go and tear down somebody's posters or billboard, ask them where their children are. Go along with them. Don't charge them. Tell them, bring your children, let's go along. Once you start telling them these things, it will let them know that you are now wide awake, like the gentleman said. Because I've done too much education here for you not to now not be awake. If you are stuck in your old ways, it only means that you want to be stuck with party and you don't want the progress of Ghana. That's all. Now let's talk about some success story. Once upon a time, I spoke to you about the National Theatre. I told you about the lack of staff at the National Theatre. That the dance company started with a certain number, now they are short. Drama companies, a certain number, they are short. I told you how the washrooms were dirty and unkempt. I told you how the auditorium itself was dirty, stinking and smelly. Rodents and cockroaches, etc. were all there. I told you how the carpets were dirty. I told you how the chairs were dirty. The curtains were filthy and dirty and smelly. I told you how the ACs were not working. Guess what? At the last check, the chairs had been improved. At the last check, the carpet had changed. At the last check, the washrooms, they were trying to do something about the washrooms. And I spoke about the air conditioners. Today, show me the air conditioners. These air conditioners. Today, some new air conditioners have been procured. And guess what? The narrative now is not about, oh, Johnny Hughes said it. But the narrative is about, oh, we have procured air conditioners and this problem has been there over the last 16 years. Yeah, we knew that the problem had been there over the last 16 years. That was before you came to promise us that there was going to be change. So when you come and we're not seeing the change, we will ask you the questions, especially when we were procuring air conditioners from private people and they were making money off us and perhaps people were getting a cut of it. I remember very well when I started this whole National Theatre thing. The board chairman, Nana Fredia Ajima Oforiata, he organized a press conference. Yes, they organized. In fact, the clap back was so loud that if I had been timid, I would have shut up. Today, when they look at the National Theatre, they use it as one of the selling points, and they say, we have done this at the National Theatre. But if I had not pushed them, I had not taken 4 or 5 months of my time to push them, they would never have done anything about it, I'm telling you. Today, when you go to the National Theatre, people go there now, they are happy to go there with their families because the chairs don't look dirty. The carpets look clean. And I had the opportunity to star in George Quay and Nash because the gods are not to blame. I filled in for the big shoes of David Donto as the narrator. Today, the air conditioners are going to be fixed. So when you go to the National Theatre, you can sit down and feel like a person. This is a scorecard. You can dislike me. You can say all you want to say about me. You can insult me. You can call me names. Do whatever it is you want to do. Say all manner of things. As for the work, we will force you to do the work. Because you came to tell us that you want to do the work. Never mind that the National Theatre Chief Executive is still beyond 60. And we were told that we're not giving post-retirement contracts. The air conditioners at the National Theatre, this was what they looked like. Now, there are new air conditioners that have been brought in. This is what it's going to look like. So, scorecard, and this, for me, this is even bigger than any award that anybody will give. You can decide to lobby and rally them, tell them not to give me an award. I don't care. This is my award. My award is that you get the whole country moving. That's the whole award. That you get a country moving in a certain direction. Because you didn't build the National Theatre. Yours is to maintain the National Theatre. If you cannot fulfill at least the promise you made to build a theatre in every region, at least the one that you came to meet, maintain it and improve upon it. That's all. So I am happy. Kudos to the leadership at the National Theatre and whoever they collaborated with to get the air conditioners. This is all we are looking for, nothing more. And for me, this is my award. My award is what the gentleman said on the street. My award is the air conditioners that have been brought. My award is the chairs that have changed. My award is the change that I saw at Valco. My award at those are my awards. Those are the ones that gladden my heart. Take me to Kojo Ashon. I spoke to you about a bridge that was breaking apart and that it was becoming a danger. Guess what? The road has been blocked. The bridge is now being fixed. In fact, they started yesterday, the Kojo Ashon Bridge. It started yesterday. And a very nice montage created by Cecil Obodaiwentume and the team at the communications team at the Highway Authority. They are going to fix it. This is the award. This is the scorecard. That's all we are looking for. Nothing more. We spoke about Kojo Ashon, we spoke about Afienya. That's all we are looking for. Nothing more. We are not interested in fighting anybody. No. But as for the work, we will force you to do it because we pay you to do the work. So the work there, obey. If you think you are tired and you don't want to do the work, please leave. But so long as you remain there and I remain here and I remain alive and I still practice journalism, you go do the work. That one, there's no two ways. So they're going to fix the Kojo Ashon Road. I'm told that they blocked the road now. It's going to take 2 weeks. That's the understanding I get from this montage. And in 2 weeks, I'm sure that the engineers, competent as they are, they will be able to fix this so that the people of Kojo Ashon can also heave a sigh of relief. It's going to be a bit of discomfort for you within the next 2 weeks. But we spoke about it. It's being done. Kudos to the team that are doing it. Kudos to the minister. Kudos to the regional minister, Titus Glover, and everybody who pulled the strings to make sure that this is being done. But as for the work, you will do it. Once I am alive, Obuakra, you do the work. Now, the senior minister has been talking. The senior minister, Mr. Yaosafo has been talking. He made a very interesting comment. He says Ghana's educational system is supposed to be solving our major issues, but it's not. Osafo Mafo. Let's read the story together. One-time education minister, if you have forgotten, Mr. Yaosafo Mafo was one-time our education minister. He was also later a finance minister. He is now the senior advisor to the president on all issues, including education. Before this, he was the senior minister, whatever that means, because we have a chief of staff who is supposed to be supervising all the ministers. But it is what it is. The story says, senior presidential advisor Yaosafo Mafo has lamented the steady decline of the country's educational system in recent times. Osafo Maafo expressed his frustration over why the high standards of education and educated individuals that the nation boasts of have not translated into solving the country's problems, pointing out issues such as poor sanitation, recent flooding, and its severe consequences. Osafo Maafo believes that revisiting the educational system is the only way to overcome these problems. We have a change, but the change that must be manifested into solving the problems facing this country as we go along. So we should begin to think through education as a problem solver for the nation, he said, as quoted by City News. Osafo Maafo appealed to the Education Minister, Dr. Yaosei Duchum, to implement policies that will aim directly at resolving most of these problems. This is my simple message to the Minister of Education. The whole educational system, we have a myriad of problems facing us in our education system. Our education system and the content should aim directly at resolving these problems. Simple problems like sanitation, flooding, he opined. I agree with you 100%. But Mr. Osafo Maafo, let me ask you, sir, Grandpa, what kind of advice do you give the president regarding this traffic lights education that the children are going through? The traffic light education that the children are going through when you were at Achimota School. Was this the quality of education we're getting? And I said last week that the older generation of this country are the ones who are failing us. The people we elect to solve the problems are now joining us to chronicle the problems and list the problems before all of us, as if we don't have leaders. That's why one of my callers will always say, Shayo, nukpa pobejen lo. Because this should not come from, this should not be made public. This should not be made public. We were running an educational system, said that you superintendent over. We're doing cultural studies. We're doing social studies. Somebody just woke up one day and decided that let's take cultural studies out, let's take social studies out, let's take music and dance out. And the values in these three alone, I can tell you. Today, when you talk to younger people, they can't even find the reason to put their hands behind their back, for example. It's serious. The very basic things that society held us together as a Ghanaian society and allowed for us to recognize different layers are all gone. What is the quality of the education that we're giving to the younger people? Today, BEC has started, right? They are going to come out of BEC, and by the time I finish BEC, we could work in a biscuit factory and later we became a tally clerk, vacation job. Today, ask a BEC person to go and do that. They are not even confident enough to go and do that. We are shortchanging the next generation, and we have mortgaged their future for them to fail. So, sir, I'm happy that you have realized this, but even though it's in the dying days of your government, I'm happy you have realized it. Can we get back to the drawing table? Can we get back to the drawing table and forget just about mentioning that we have X number of people that we have enrolled onto a free SHS, and then we are not looking at the quality. We are just interested in 1-point-something million, 4-point-something million. We're just mentioning the figures out there so that the numbers game is what we are interested in, not the quality that the children are supposed to get. How do you propose that the children will be any better when you actually change the curriculum of a school without textbooks for the children 6 years on? How? What kind of education is that? What kind of education is that? Say, I'm asking you, how? When you were at Achimota School, you had textbooks. No, you did. How is it that after you became education minister, many other education ministers have come, and there are still some schools in this country who this week will sit for ICT exam, but have never felt electricity before, have never seen a computer before, have never held a mouse before, have never even seen the syllabus before, but they are going to write the same exam like the children at Christ the King or St. Teresa or St. Nicholas or any other school. How do you feel? So when you come to tell us that the education must solve a problem, are you putting all the children on a one platform, at least for them to get the basics? We are more interested in secondary education because by the time they are done with secondary school, they can go and vote. What about the primary education? Go to the primary education. Go and see the level of neglect, sir. The level of neglect at the primary basic level. Go and check. The level of neglect. So we are building secondary school people. And then we are talking about free tertiary for persons living with disability. We are making all the promises. Now, they will have to come from the primary school, come through the JSS system or the JHS system before they come into the secondary school system. Ask the secondary school teachers. Sometimes when the children come, they have to teach them all over again what they should have learned in JSS 3 or JHS 3. Ask the teachers, they will tell you. Ask the university teachers. Sometimes when the children come level 100, they've had to take them through some of the basic things they should have learned at secondary school because even the contact hours are not enough. We are running a traffic light system. And you know this, eh? What advice have you given to the president? Or we are just interested in the numbers, like we did with the Napo people. So it's good that you have realized this. Because even if you pick a middle school leaver then, and you put a degree holder now on the same table, I'm sure that a middle school leaver would trump the person. If you like, try it. In terms of their English comprehension, composition, in terms of their appreciation of logic and arithmetic and all those things, they will trump them. I'm telling you. I have experienced some of those conversations before. Somebody with a master's degree, somebody with a middle school living certificate, and they were in an argument, and you could clearly tell that the person with a middle school living certificate, that's more like a JSS system, was actually making much more sense than the person who said, I have a master's degree in so and so. Around the area, they were arguing. So say, I'm happy that you have realized that there is a problem somewhere. So please, if you have realized it, let's fix it now. Let's fix it now. Maybe your minister has forgotten. When he came, he knew that there was a problem. Maybe he didn't know. Then he said, we're going to paint our schools blue and white. Or it was not Yareduchum who said that. He knew that we had a problem. His first preoccupation was that let's paint the schools blue and white. Then we add red ceiling. Then we make it MPP flag. What sort of country is this? There's a letter. Please, let's find the letter and read. I don't want us to have another Dr. Bonaventure Benedicta Legibam on our hands. So I want to give you this information before it becomes too late. Pull up the letter for me. There's a letter from HEFRA. HEFRA are the regulators of our hospitals and health facilities. This is dated the 28th of February 2024. It is to Dr. Philip Abebio Bano. He's a registrar, HEFRA headquarters. Compulsory retirement from the health services, Dr. Philip Abebio Bano, registrar. Staff ID 1372036. I have the honor to inform you that you will attain the compulsory retirement age of 60 years on the 17th of July, 2024, having been born on the 17th of July, 1964. And I'm taking a cue from how Domelovo was hounded out of office by the president himself. You should therefore be ready to retire from the health service with effect from 17th of July, 2024. You are accordingly requested to hold yourself in readiness to proceed on your pro rata leave of 18 working days with effect from the 24th of June, 2024, which is your proportionate annual leave that must be enjoyed on or before the 17th July 2024, or else have it forfeited. To facilitate prompt processing of your retirement benefits, it will be appreciated if you could provide the following at any branch office of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. That's at your earliest convenience. Social Security card, original bank account number, SNIT statement of account, That's what Dr. Legiban went to do last Tuesday at the Bolga SNIT office. So he knows that he is due for retirement, but he's still staying there to chop farmers' money. 4, if you are a beneficiary of the Staff Vehicle Loan Scheme of the Ministry of Health, please obtain a clearance of completion of vehicle loan payments from the Vehicle Revolving Fund Administrator at the Ministry of Health. 5, your name will be deleted from the payroll with effect from 17 July 2024. That has happened to Dr. Legiban, but he's still at post. On behalf of the Ministry of Health, I take opportunity to thank you for your invaluable services rendered to the government and people of Ghana. Frank Raji, Director, General Administration, and Caretaker Minister. This was signed when Okoboy was yet to be confirmed, and it's to Auditor General, everybody else. So, sir, 17th July we are counting the days for you, sir. Good morning. I know that you will go. And in the coming days, I'll show you how some people were supposed to have gotten salaries from Hefra, but they were not going to work. I'll show you their register, right? I'll show you their attendance sheets. And then I'll show you a memo that pointed to that. And then we'll ask Dr. Philip Bano a few questions before he goes away. I will show you the staff register. When you come in the morning, you write your name. And then I will show you plenty documents. So I will show you how people have gotten salaries without turning up for work or without doing any work at all. And they are chopping our tax. I will show you that. And then we'll ask Dr. Bano a few questions before he goes home as registrar. And then we will assess his work as a registrar too before he goes home. But there's a new man on the block, Napo. One of his childhood friends, Dr. Kwame Sapoesi, and that's what we're wrapping up with. He had this to write about him, that he had known him since infancy. So Kwame Sapoesi is a fellow of the CDD, Center for Democratic Development. He said, I have known Napo since infancy. We were in university practice, primary school together. While in secondary school, I encountered him during vacation classes. Though he was ahead of me, we ended up in tech together. I was in tech when his issues in Unity Hall came up. I don't know what issues he's talking about. Intellectually, he is robust and has been like that from our days in primary school. My views on Napo are this. He is forthright and often comes out as a brush. He can rub people the wrong side, especially when he feels provoked. He has strong views and debates them fearlessly, sometimes to a fault. Overall, he's extremely hardworking when it comes to the tag of arrogance. He fits the classic definition of Ghanaians. But is the Ghanaian definition consistent with the dictionary definition of the word? Is he perfect? No. There's something about the wisdom of crowds. The wise know that the crowd's view mustn't be disregarded. This is to those managing Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh and those who support him. His childhood friend and later his mate at Tech has come to give us that there were some issues at Tech. I don't know. I'm sure those who were at Tech with them, they know. I don't know. But he has made some very, very interesting suggestions in there. And you see, it doesn't matter what a man does in his private life. As soon as you come into the public eye and you start taking the people's taxes and managing the people's taxes and their authority, your life becomes a matter of public scrutiny. So for those who are saying that people are saying too much about Napo, some say he's confident, some say he's arrogant, some say he's assertive, some say he's whatever. Boss, tone down on your emotions. Your tax is small. Your tax is very small. Tone down on emotions. Some of you have not worked before. If your party hadn't come to power, you didn't have gotten work because private sector didn't find you worthy to employ. You have written application letters, worked places. Nobody minded you. You have attended interviews. Nobody called you. You have written aptitude tests. Nobody called you back because you failed. If your party had not come to power, some of you would never have had jobs to do. This is your first working experience. So tone down on the emotions. You are not even sure that when power switches, where you are, it will not be conterminous with the power that you have. So tone down on your emotions. Slow down. Somebody is coming to take charge of our authority and taxes if the people decide to vote for them. So we have to scrutinize the individual. It doesn't matter how much you love the person or how much the person puts pepper on your kinky or fish on your kinky. That's none of our spiritual business. Our spiritual business is that when I finish working at the end of the month, they take my income tax, they take my VAT, they take my whatever it is, and then they put it into a whole kitty, and they say that person should manage it and administer it on my behalf. I should ask the person questions. I should be interested in the character of the person. I should be interested in the competence of the person. So whatever emotions you have, tone down, tone down, tone down. The people of Ghana will ask the question. And you see, it was the reason people were asking the question that, bring the running mate, bring the running mate. You said no. Now you have 4 or 5 months to the elections. You think that Ghanaians will just sit and stare and watch? They will criticize. And that may put a spanner in the works for you. They may criticize you. So, tone down. Ghanaians are just about to begin the scrutiny. So, tone down. Good morning. Please call me 055-924-2717. and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Odewale, how are you?
I'm so quite great.
Odewale, tone down.